Sign crush. All right, let's go ahead, clap it up. All right. Good to see y'all in the building tonight. What's that? Right, damn right. We're gonna say Shalom, Israel. You know what I mean? We are the Israelite School of UPK. We started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are under Commandant General Yohana, Priest and Officer 5000, Kassar Pakad. This is the Thursday night scripture breakdown class for ISUPK, Northern California. We got the brothers and the sisters in the building, the Akim Agwathian. Let's go ahead and get down with some questions in the room, and then any comments or questions online, feel free to type them in the chat. All right. Nothing. All right, we're gonna get straight into it then. Tonight's topic is, the title of the class is Maccabees. We're in this time of the Feast of Dedication. It's time that Esau's kingdom loves to glorify a few holidays, from Thanksgiving. What else do we have? We got Christmas right here, New Year's Eve. They call it the holiday season. We're going to call it the holiday season. Matter of fact, somebody give me Amos 5:21. Get Amos 5:21. I know last week we were dealing with Thanksgiving. It was a story I wanted to bring out to honor some of our Native American brothers. I'll just paraphrase the story for a little bit. But these are the type of men that we should remember and honor. Now, this brother wasn't in the truth. Y'all can go look up. It was called the Lowry Gang, the Lowry Wars. Has anybody heard of it outside of ISHR? I know I let y'all brothers hear about it last week. Anybody familiar with the Lowry Gang? We're not talking about Mike Lowry from Bad Boys. This is somebody else. It's a Gadite from the Lumbee tribe in, I believe, North Carolina area in the late 1800s. So right around the middle of the Civil War, these brothers were free men, but they still were second-class citizens compared to your oppressor. So they're living in the South while the South is going to war with the North. And certain time, Union soldiers may escape, or brothers that were formerly slaves, they're living in this area. They had to deal with the Confederate Army at different times. And they came to their house and was blaming them for harboring different Union soldiers and also holding weapons, because it was illegal for them to possess guns. Now, that sounds familiar, right? Where do we hear about people not being able to hold weapons? Black and Hispanic men who have records to this day get a felony. You cannot own a firearm. So they went into his house, took out the guns and said it was illegal, and they held a court for his father. They ended up killing his father and I believe his brother while he was in the woods watching this happen. After that happened, the brother just snapped and went and gathered a gang of other Judites, former slaves, and he was going around giving these devils hell. So he started to go onto plantations, force the plantation owner to cook him dinner and serve him and the black slaves dinner. You understand? Then he would rob them, or sometimes I think they was unaliving them or whatever. And he was doing these things, taking money from them and giving it to the people of color, to the poor people. And he was a real civil rights activist. He wasn't in the truth, right? He didn't, have everything he needed to free black people. The things he was doing didn't change our complete condition. But if we're gonna remember anybody, we should remember brothers like this brother. What was his name? Hold on, let me get his name for real. I don't think it's Will Lowry. Let me say his name right. Lowry Wars. Yep, Lowry Gang. Henry Berry Lowry. Yep. So with that, after he was doing things like this, they started to put bounties on him and his gang, because he was, like I said, he was like a Robin Hood figure, taken from the rich and given to the poor. They put a bounty on him. So the sheriff started to collect money at his house. I think they had about a $12,000 or $20,000 bounty on him at the time. That would be like $500,000. This brother broke into the house and stole the reward money that was for him. You understand? They need to make a movie about this brother. He kept doing these things. At one point in time, the height of the story, I'll say this, because he got away. They never killed him. They never put him in jail. They did put him in jail once or twice. He broke out of the jail, filed himself out of the jail. His wife brought him a cake, had a file in it, filed himself out of there, got out of jail. They couldn't do anything with him. They couldn't catch him. They were experts in like guerrilla warfare and attacks. So they said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go and arrest the wives of him and the brothers in the Lowry gang. And they said, we're going to basically kill them or, punish them for what y'all are doing unless y'all turn yourself in. And so this brother, Henry Lowry, wrote a letter to them. And he said, if you don't give us our wives back, it's going to be the bloodiest day that you ever saw. And so they start going to the jail, excuse me, Salaki, and surrounding the jail, the police and all the sheriffs, all the different Edomites in the city, because they thinking the Lowry gang is going to come and do an attack to free their wives. And while all the sheriffs and all the different officers and men are guarding the jail, this gang went and kidnapped their wives. You understand? So they went and took the wives of the sheriff and all of them, and they basically sent a letter to them and say, hey, free our wives, we can do a wife exchange. You understand? And so that's what happened. They let their wives go. And them brothers kept rocking and rolling. But you can look more into their stories. There's different documentaries on YouTube. But we want to give it up for that, brother. You know what I'm saying? These are the type of men we're going to remember. We're not going to celebrate Thanksgiving. But we're going to remember strong brothers, Gadite brothers, Native American brothers, black brothers that was, giving the oppressor hell. Let's go ahead with Amos.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21. I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
All right. Read it a little bit slower. Slow it down. But yeah, that was excellent. Go ahead one more time.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5 and verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
I hate.
The Lord says he what?
I hate.
They said God loves everything.
I hate.
The Lord says I hate. Read.
I despise your feast days.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not smell in your solemn assembly.
Right. They think that just coming together for Christmas is harmless. Doesn't mean anything. This is just a holiday for the kids. The Lord says he hates, he despises your feast days and your solemn assemblies. Keep reading.
Though you offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them.
What's a big meat offering from Thanksgiving to Christmas? They can't have. Yeah. There you go. Get it, brother hand. You understand? That ham, every time they got to have that swine. It cannot go without it. That honey baked ham got to be, you understand? You eating pig ass, salakia. Eating the thigh, the rump of the pig every Christmas, every Thanksgiving. He doesn't want that sacrifice. Keep reading.
I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts.
Right. The Lord is not going to regard your peace offerings. You can't say you're serving the Lord and then go against what the Lord wants. That's what's happening in the Christian church. It's a bunch of hypocrisy. It's professing to be followers of Christ. Christ didn't want you to celebrate his birthday. It's not even his birthday. Everyone knows that Christmas comes from some pagan holiday. Now, in the 1950s, the 1940s, when Grandma was around, Big Mom was around, in the 60s, even the 70s, If you didn't know this information, I could understand. But right now, we in 2025, they have something that makes Google look like a slow child. They got AI chatbot. You can have it make a complete 20-page essay in the next 10 seconds about how Christmas is connected to pagan holidays. You think I'm lying? I can do it while we're in the class. I can ask it to give me 20 pages of information, sources, records, artifacts, proving that Christmas is a pagan holiday, but people are still going to celebrate it and still want the Lord to honor their tithes, their sacrifice, their belief in following Jesus Christ. You are a liar. Keep reading.
Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs.
Right.
For I will not hear the melody of thy vows.
Right. Like the answers are in the book. That's the sad part. You can read the Bible and see what you should be honoring. What high holy days? No Christian has ever answered me this. They always have a reason to celebrate these other days. Like, Lord doesn't care. This is just for my children. We get the day off. We need to come together. Okay, why don't you come together and celebrate the high holy days in Leviticus 23? Well, brother, that's the Old Testament. You mean to tell me it's more evil to celebrate the laws that God gave his people? It's not evil to celebrate the pagan holidays of Baal and Ishtar and all these different gods that the Lord hated throughout the entire Bible. You've been brainwashed. You are a slave, and you really don't understand why you love these days. Keep reading that.
Verse 24. But let judgment run down as waters.
Right.
And righteousness as a mighty stream.
Right. And that's what the Lord is saying. He said judgment and righteousness is going to have to come upon our people because we keep continuing to follow these other nations. Right. I'm going to read something once again. Christmas. We have forgotten that on Christmas, you were the gift. I don't know why you want to celebrate Christmas when you were the gift. Y'all know what I mean when I say that? What y'all think I mean when I say that? Go ahead.
I was reading the word of property.
Okay.
It literally says that they used to give.
Yeah, go ahead.
They literally used to say in they were a property that they would the father would give away his slaves to the wife that was getting married and give them away as wedding gifts. Give the slaves away as wedding gifts. They would give like 25 slaves or 50 slaves at a time.
Right.
Just as a wedding gift.
Exactly. Get a brother a hand. You understand? I just sent something to you on your phone. That's exactly what they were doing. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. I'm going to keep coughing, but until this clears up, y'all forgive me. Bear with me. But let me see. Let's see how long it takes to come to your phone. If not, you can find it in the Telegram chat. I posted it with the brothers the other day. Let's see if it goes through to your phone, young man. Just moving a little slow. Let's go to the Telegram, man. Where I talked about Christmas. You don't see it in the Telegram in the protocol chat? Go up. What's today? It's right before you posted about this young boy. Go up a little bit. The young boy, the football player. You see it? Yep. Reading that. Negro,
you were the Christmas gift. Why would you celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, that's part just me talking, but read the white. You understand?
Not all enslaved African Americans viewed the holidays as a time of celebration and hope.
Right. During slavery, some people did enjoy the holidays. And this article is explaining that because they got the time off. They could travel to go see their other family members. They will give them a pass and say, hey, you can go to this plantation, visit your wife, maybe visit some kids or your mother over here around Christmas. A lot of slaves also used this time in order to run away. They said Harriet Tubman came and got her brothers because when they were escaping, if these Edomites saw them, the oppressors saw them, they say, what you doing? They would show them the papers and say, hey, we're on travel. We got a pass to go over here. And they used that to get away. A lot of the masters would go and visit their families and go into other areas of the country. So it was easier for the slaves to get away at this time of Christmas. But they didn't just enjoy Christmas because they were in the Christmas spirit. Like, outside of them getting the day off, getting extra clothes and food to sustain them for the year, the actual day was not something they was looking forward to. But go ahead and read.
Rather, Christmas served only to highlight their lack of freedom.
Right.
As a young boy, Lewis Hughes was brought in December and introduced to his new household on Christmas Eve.
Right. The same way your parents go and buy a bicycle and they putting it together the night before Christmas when you wake up in the morning. It's a brand new bike. It's a brand new video game. The PS5. We got you this. We got you that. Keep reading.
As a Christmas gift to the madam.
Right. They bought this young boy and had him as the gift for her. Keep reading.
When Peter Burner tried to claim a Christmas gift from his master, he took me and threw me in the tan vat and nearly drowned me.
Damn.
Every time I made an attempt to get out, he would kick me back in again until I was almost dead.
Right. Now, what type of horror movie is this again? You see what I'm saying? Like, that sounds like Get Out. You over here moving around, somebody is kidnapped you and try to bring you as a gift. Honey, here he is. He like, man, I'm trying to get out of here. He like beating him and putting him in the basement, locking him up. Your toy is not acting right. We need to give it a couple more lashes and get it to behave. You know what I mean? You remember that movie? And I see you, brother. You remember that movie, Richard Pryor? Y'all too young to know, but he was called The Toy. He presented him as a grown man to this little Edomite, and he thought that he was just a grown toy or a slave that he could just play with and use all day, every day. That was us. Go ahead.
Evening, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
The scene he just described is also in a movie called Mandingo.
Yeah.
They threw Ken Norton in a pit of water.
Yeah.
Boiling water. And pitchfork him in there continuously.
Damn.
The movie goes out on that. Lord have mercy.
Damn. I'm not even going to give that a hand, but give you a hand for bringing that information out. But you said, what was the name of the movie again? Mandingo, right? And that's perfect to segue into the story of the Maccabees, because that's in here as well. That's how you know who these oppressors are. The same spirit, the same thing they were doing in these times, they've been doing it for thousands of years. All right. But let's drop that. Let's go to the book of First Maccabees. Then, in the Apocrypha, the First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. Yep. A lot of it.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian.
Or Macedonian.
Macedonian.
He's made it sound like a player, huh? The Macadocious, huh? Oh, sorry, Christ.
The Macedonian,
Yeah.
who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king
Mhm.
of the Persians,
Right.
Medes.
Right, Darius. He was the king over the Persian and Medes. He had a very large empire, and no one thought that he could be defeated. They have an interesting documentary, I think, on Netflix that was made not too long ago. It goes into the conquest of how Alexander the Greek, we call him the Greek, not the Great. He was just a Greek bastard to us, but the world looks at him like one of the greatest military leaders, if not the greatest military leaders, because he was able to move his army and military so fast and so quick and take over so much of the earth's land that it was just never done before, nothing like that. So Darius, who had power over Egypt, had power over Persia, all the way to the lands of Macedon, where his people were at, all the way to India, he was able to come in and challenge them and win. And if you know Alexander, he was a very superstitious person. And so everywhere he went, he was looking for oracles, he was looking for signs, he was looking for different things in order to put himself in charge. And I got some of the stuff by Josephus that explains that. But keep going.
That he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds.
Right. And so he came from Macedonia, and we're going to go to another. I want you to hold where we at, but go to the wisdom of no. What is it? Go to in the Apocrypha, the rest of Esther. The rest of Esther, and go to chapter 7. 55. Editions of Esther, it may say that too. In mine, that's what it says on mine. Some may call it the editions of Esther. And then dang, it's different in here too. So I think mine is going to say chapter 13 and verse 10, I believe. Chapter. So some of them it may say chapter 10, and some of them it may say chapter 13. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't. In addition to this, I don't have any.
So you only have 7. Yeah, so go to chapter 7. Let's see. The logic for that. Want to get, where am I at? Verse. Hold on, let me find it in my notes real quick. What's going on here is we got the book of Esther that we have in the Old Testament. And when they do the editions of Esther, it picks up here and goes on. So, and then other people in other versions, they just started it like it was a new book and they started from 1 and moved forward. But where I'm at in this one, blah, 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 my bookmarks. I don't know why my phone is. So, editions of Esther. Yours is 7 and 10. Amen. Yeah, and I want to find it for everybody else. Let me see, is it 16 and 10? Yeah, another one's 16 and 10. So I had it back. I don't know why I was saying 13. Yeah, the last chapter and the last chapter of both of them.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 16 and verse 10. For a man of Macedonia.
For Haman, right? It's no sweat. That's Haman, right? If you know the story of Esther, Haman hated the brother Mordecai. And he wanted to get Mordecai killed because Mordecai wouldn't bow down to to Haman. And Haman, in the story of Esther in the Old Testament, we know that he was considered an Agite, which means he was from the tribe of Amalek, who we would call today the Jewish people. His great-grandfather was Agag, King Agag, who Saul was supposed to slay and kill all of the children of Amalek, right? But this one gives you more context of who Haman was and what race of people these people were. So read it again from the top.
This is the book of Esther, chapter 16 and verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
For Haman, a Macedonian.
A what?
A Macedonian.
Uh-huh.
The son of Amadith,
Mm-hmm.
being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood,
Right.
and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us.
Right. So he wasn't a Persian. He was living amongst the Persian, working with them, but he was an Edomite. He was not only from the seed of Amalek, from the seed of Agag, he also was a Macedonian. So this lets you know that both of these people are Edomites. All right, now let's go back to Maccabees. Alexander was a Macedonian from the same people as well. And the whole world agrees that Alexander was a white man. The whole world agrees that the Macedonians were white men. They don't want to say that Amalek is the so-called white man and the Jewish man to this day. But we know that according to the Bible. All right, let's keep going.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 3. And went through to the end of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quite before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
What does it mean when it says the earth was quiet before him? Go ahead.
The people were humble.
Right? What's another way you want to say it? Trooper. Like I told you last week, go ahead and you fire for me, man. What does it mean when they say it was quiet before him?
So like you said, like there was silence, like they were forced to they couldn't say anything.
Right.
They were forced to
Give me there you go. Give me a movie reference. Let's see. I don't know what I'm talking about. You got it?
reference. I'm thinking Pinky.
You was close. Oh, okay, that's two. That you was right there. I gave you here, but Debo, when he here, we be quiet. We leave. We be talking again. Like when Alexander come in, everybody they get quiet. He's a bully. He is taking everything from everybody. This devil was going through all different nations, and they didn't want it. People were bowing out. I always tell this story about Alexander, that he came to this great town, and this great town was fortified. They lived on a mountain, or they had like great walls that protected this city. And so no one really tried to attack the city because it was fortified so great. Alexander, the stories of him and his legend have been spreading around. He's been going everywhere, conquering things. When they came to the walls of the city, they yelled over to the people, and he explained to them that they need to open the gates and let us in, or we're going to come in and destroy you. And he had a mountain where they was at. And he started to tell his men to march towards the edge of the cliff. Y'all heard this story before? The men start marching towards the edge of the cliff. Doom, 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 doom. One gets over and falls off the cliff. Ah! Next one keeps marching though. Goes straight off the cliff. Another one to their death. They're dying. He said, oh! He said, if this is the type of power I have with my men, there is nothing you can do to stop me. They opened up the gates. They said, let him in. You understand? He's different. You know what I'm saying? He had hundreds of men march off that cliff, And they like, yeah, he got a different type of thing going on. We don't want no parts of that. And they let him take over the city. So that's how Alexander was moving. He had the whole world quiet before him. All right, keep going.
Verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributees.
Tributaries.
Tributaries unto him.
Right.
And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
Right. All right. Now hold on to this. What was that? That next door? Oh, that was you?
He said, but I said when he died, he said, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm like, where did that come from? I thought it was next door. I'm like, they really into the class too, huh? They don't like Alexander either, next door. But with this too, so this is gonna show you what happened. Matter of fact, keep reading. I'm talking to this part after.
Verse 6. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
Right. And so he had 4 different friends. All these prophecies we were reading about in the book of Daniel was explaining how this was going to happen and play out. You had these different empires, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Medes. Then it goes to the Greeks, Alexander. Then it's going to break down to 4 different horns. And then out of that, it's going to become 10 different nations and strong, et cetera, et cetera. He reigned 12 years and then he died, right? If you look in the records and the history, it tells you the same exact thing that's recorded in the Bible. That he started as a general or whatever at around age 20. He died when he was 32. He reigned for 12 years. So this is not just a fantasy book. This is a history book that we have in the Bible. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Right.
Verse 8.
Now drop down to verse 10.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked group, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes,
No sweat.
son of Antiochus the king, who had been hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Right. And so this guy, Antiochus Epiphanes, he had a strong hatred for the children of Israel. So he came in and dealt with us differently. And read what happened.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men and persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Right. So they said, we're going to go in and deal with these heathens, make a covenant, make a deal with them, saying we're going to be in league with you. We're going to be a part of your nation or empire, because they didn't want any problems with them. People that didn't work with them had more problems and a lot of sorrow being independent and being, separated from these people. Now I'm going to read this here for time's sake. In the book of Josephus, it explains why there was a big difference between how Alexander dealt with the children of Israel and how Antiochus did. You got something you want to bring up that you know off your memory?
No.
All right. This is page 307 in the book 11, chapter 8. I think the verse 337. And when the book of Daniel was showed him, so Alexander came in, and he, like I said, he was a very superstitious man. And he wanted to go out and conquer the army of Darius and the Persians. He went, when he came to our land, he asked the priests to show him different things, and they showed him the book of Daniel. And when he was showed the book of Daniel, wherein Daniel declared that one of the Greeks should destroy the empire of the Persians, he supposed that himself was the person intended. And he was then glad. He dismissed the multitude for the present, but the next day he called them to him and bade them ask what favors they pleased him. Whereupon the high priest desired that they might enjoy the laws of their forefathers and might pay no tribute on the 7th year. He granted all they desired, and when they entreated him that he would permit the Jews in Babylon and Media to enjoy their own laws, also he willingly promised to do hereafter what they desired. And when he said to the multitude, if any of them would enlist themselves in his army on this condition, that they should continue under the law of their forefathers and live according to them. And he was willing to take them with him. Many were ready to accompany him in his wars. So since they showed him this record, he felt like it gave him the courage to go against the Persians, took it as a sign. He was like, all right, whatever you Israelites want, I'm going to deal with you in that way. They said, can we just keep our laws and do this? Every 7 years, the year of Jubilee, we don't want to give you any tributaries that year. He said, fine, that's cool. We made a deal with him. Once Alexander died, all those bets were off the table. Antiochus came, and he didn't have no love for the Israelites. He was from that seed, that line, the same way as Haman. He knows that the children of Amalek hate the children of Israel. So it's a long-going battle that they've had with our people, and we seen it unfold with Antiochus. All right. Let's keep going.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Right. Okay. So let's see. We can drop down a little bit. It talks about them building and bringing in these gymnasiums, these things that the Greeks did. When the Greeks had their gyms to do their exercises, they were doing it in the complete nude. That's how the Olympics were always played, is people with no clothes on, because we know the Greeks are a homosexual people. That's a part of their culture.
Right.
These cats were trying to bring this stuff into our nation, into our culture. All right. So let's drop down to, let's go down to, let's see, 20 and 21. No. I got my notes. Let's go ahead.
41.
That's always a good spot right there. I think maybe, yeah, that might be. Yeah, let's do that.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 41.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Right. Can you imagine the audacity after that? So that if you go up a little bit in the context, they started to, raid our temple, kill our women, you understand? Destroy all the things that we had, force us to pay them, and then after that, he comes and says, let's be one people. Right? What do you say?
We're all Americans.
Exactly. Give a brother a hand. That's exactly what they did to the Gadites. They came in, took over their land, killed them, gave them smallpox, sold their kids into slavery, raped their women, and then they say you should be proud to be an American. You should pledge the allegiance to the flag. You understand? You know how evil that is to tell a small child to pledge allegiance to the flag? Somebody give me those. Alexa, what is the definition of pledge?
As a noun, pledge is usually defined as a solemn promise or agreement to do or refrain from doing something. As a verb,
right.
Pledge is usually defined
Pledge.
as
Stop.
To bind
Alexa, define allegiance.
Something went wrong.
Alexa, define allegiance.
Allegiance is usually defined as the loyalty of a citizen to his or her government or of a subject to his or her sovereign. For more, ask me to give you more definitions
Alexa,
for
stop. You're going to make a solemn promise to the government that you're going to support America. You are going to defend America. There is no coincidence that they have small children saying this every day. You understand? And I'm going to school with my son in the morning, and they play the song, over for the big kids. So I'm like, okay, we drop him off in the cafeteria. He's not a part of that. They explained it to my rib that's separate. And then, sometimes I'm getting them there late. So I'm in the cafeteria. They got them doing the Pledge of Allegiance on the inside too. And so she's like, they telling me they're not doing that in there. I'm like, nah, Zion, we don't do that. We sit down when they do the Pledge of Allegiance. We don't partake in that in the UPK. You understand? And that is the spirit that we have to have, because if you don't raise your children to be like that, they're going to believe that we all are Americans. We all are one people. We all are what Antiochus was trying to push back then. All right, keep reading.
Verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws.
Mm-hmm.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
Right, all the other heathens went along with it. The Africans, the Asians, the East Indians, they can make money dealing with Antiochus, dealing with these Greeks. They're not going to fight it. They're going to go with it. Keep going.
Verse 43, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath.
Right, so we had sellouts back then too, the same way we have today. Some people really didn't care about the laws at all. They didn't want to serve the Lord in our own land. They didn't want to serve the Lord under our own leadership. They wanted to go against the grain anyway. Now you coming here and telling us we don't got to do this. I've been wanting to eat pork for 20 years anyway. I've been loving white women my whole life. You telling me now we can be one with white women? Let's sign it up. You understand? Right, exactly. It's the same spirit, man. That's how you know nothing is new under the sun. These same cats today that we see, you just can't even believe how they would, stand up for this place or got a MAGA hat on and love Donald Trump this and hate black people that. That same spirit was back then. Keep going. For time's sake, Salaki.
Verse 44, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
Right. Right. Voting. Other things that the Edomites have. Having one wife. You understand? That was Roman and Greek culture. Was some other things. Being a homosexual. That was a part of their culture. All those things they were doing. That's what they wanted the Israelites to do. Keep going.
And forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths of the festival days.
Right, just like a bully. You want to go over and play at this kid's house, but you can only play the game he wants to play. He said we all together, but the only laws that you can follow are the ones that I say. That's the American spirit. You understand? Like, you can be whatever you want to be, except saying you're a Jew. You can be any religion you want to be in America, but the children of Israel. That one is off limits. That one is off guard, because they know this is the same enemy that has always plagued their empire. Because our God doesn't change, and our laws specifically say not to join in with you. The Egyptians, their gods don't stop them from joining with the Greek gods. They got 50 different gods they believe in. The Greeks got 50 different gods they believe in. What offense is it to me to take on Zeus and Isis or whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever the Greeks call their gods, we just go say it's the same thing. They start looking in the story, they say, oh, it's very similar. Your Zeus is like our Horus, and your this is like our that. It's the same thing. The East Indians got 1,000 different gods with all the arms. No difference between the Greeks and their gods. But the children of Israel, we're not clicking up with nobody. We're not aligning with anyone. We always say that we worship the one true God, right? Keep going.
And pollute the sanctuary and holy people.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 47, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanliness and profanity.
Mm-hmm. Profanation, I guess.
Profanation.
Right. So we'll saw that. So they told that their children could not be circumcised. You drop down to verse 60.
Verse 60. At which time, according to the commandment that
hold on. Let's go up a little bit. Let's go to verse 56.
Verse 56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire.
Right. They saw our records, the things, our stories, our history, anything they could find. This Torah, the Tanakh, anything they could find, they're ripping it apart, burning it up, destroying our history, destroying the great things that our forefathers and foremothers had done. You understand? Hitler was known for burning books. These devils today, they call it, what is it called in Florida? They say it's the something kind of theory, or what is it called? Critical race theory. They start banning books from school. They start saying that slavery was a choice, or slavery was some type of immigration.
Voluntary servitude.
Right. It's voluntary servitude. They started trying to rewrite history. That's the same thing they was doing with us back then. All right. Let's keep going.
Verse 57. And whosoever, and wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put. That they should put him to death. Right.
So once again, anyone that's found with these laws, anyone that's caught reading these books, you're getting knocked down. You're getting put to death, right? Keep going.
Verse 58.
Now, matter of fact, let's drop down to verse 60.
Verse 60. At which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised.
Right. So they started killing the women that did this to their children. All right, keep going. 61.
Verse 61. And they hanged the infants about their necks and rifled their houses and slew them that had circumcised them.
Right. So not only did they kill the women, they killed the babies and the people that did the circumcision themselves. Right? These people are the devil the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
How else can you describe a nation of people like this? You understand? Who does that? And why was there such a hatred for the children of Israel? We know that because it's going back to Amalek. You see what I'm saying? When King Saul went to war with these people, they didn't forget what happened back then. They passed this down to their children. And he revived this hatred for us that Haman had. He wanted to wipe us out. They continuously been wanting to wipe us out since then, right? But let's see. Keep going.
Verse 62. Howbeit it, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing.
Right. Even still, through all this, they still weren't going to eat anything unclean. What is your excuse? You can't go through the pain and suffering of not seeing your family on Christmas. You can't go through the pain and suffering of not having turkey wings on Thanksgiving and mac and cheese. You understand? This is not our culture, man. This is not our history. This is why they want to destroy these records from our people, because we had something that's a long lost art or something that's a long lost concept called integrity. You understand? Called morals.
Right.
Everyone talks about, what's his name? You can talk about Tyler Perry. If you go out and talk to 100 black people today and interview them and say what Tyler Perry is doing is wrong, Tyler Perry shouldn't be dressing up like a woman called Medea. It's weird. It's against God. It's not good for your children. What are they going to say to you? Somebody tell me. It's just a movie. That's one. Yeah, just make sure, you know what I mean? What else they going to say?
We're all Americans.
What are they gonna call me for talking about Tyler Perry?
He just
Hey,
a hater.
there you go. We just make sure one you raise your hand, you know, yeah. No sweat, no sweat. But yeah, both of you all right. They're gonna call you a hater. He's making money. You broke, nigga. Look at your car. Tyler Perry, a millionaire. What's wrong with you? Yeah, exactly. Shit. It's like, give me a dress. I'm gonna put it on. They're gonna give me a dress. I'll put it on and make $1 billion. You understand? They don't understand something called integrity, that some things are not worth money. You understand? What is it to gain the whole world and to lose your soul? You know what I mean? These brothers and lost their soul for riches, and these brothers and sisters that we come from was willing to die to keep our laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. And we got to have that spirit to this day. All right. Let's did you read 63?
Wow, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 63. Wherefore they chose rather to die.
Rather to what?
Rather to die,
Uh-huh.
that they might not be defiled with meats,
Mm-hmm.
and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died.
Right. And that's it. And we're going to read about that. Let's skip ahead to our good brother. Yeah, let's say we talked about Mattathias chapter 2. Let's drop down to verse, might want to say 42 as well, somewhere here. Let's see. It was a great number. Hold on. No, we're going to go up a little bit further. Let's get to the story about Mattathias. Let's go to verse 17. Yeah, chapter 2, verse 17. Salakia. Start at verse. Let's go to verse, matter of fact, 15.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
In the meanwhile, the king's officers, such as compelled the people to revolt, came into the city, Madin, and Slakia, to make them sacrifice.
Right. So they going to different, they on a abomination tour. You understand? We're going to hit up every city, every major town, and we're going to make sure that they doing these sacrifices that are against their culture and against their God. Keep going.
Verse 16. And when many of Israel came unto them, Mattathias also and his sons came together.
Right.
Then answered the king's officers and said to Mattathias on this wise, thou art a ruler and a honorable and great man in this city, and strengthened with sons and brethren.
Right, you an honorable man. You got some clout. People look up to you as a wise man. This is why you should do this. Read.
Now, therefore, come thou first.
Come there. What?
Come thou first.
You be the first. Read.
And fulfill the king's commandment, like as all the heathen have done, yea, and the men of Judah also, and such as remain at Jerusalem.
Right. So they broke these brothers down. They got them to do it. He said that all the other heathens have done it. This is your turn. Keep going.
So shalt thou and thy house be in number of the king's friends, and thou and thy children shall be honored with silver and gold and many rewards.
Once again, this is another age-old tactic. If you know the Romans, you know the Italians, you know the Greeks, you know the mafia, what do they call this? But what's another word? Go ahead up. What is the mafia? How does the mafia do this? What they're doing? They make a deal. They call it though. They say, I'm gonna make an offer you can't refuse, right? You understand? We're gonna pay you money in order to let us sell drugs out of your business. And you say, you know what? I don't want to sell drugs for the mafia out of my business. All right, we're gonna burn your whole goddamn business down. This is the offer that you can't refuse. Either you're gonna do it or you're gonna die. Either you're gonna do it or we're gonna kill you. Either you're gonna do it or we're gonna take over your business and still do it. You know what I'm saying? You can make some money with us, but either way, it's happening. You understand? Go ahead.
It reminds you of Goodfellas.
Yeah.
They sit up there and it's like, oh, you ain't got no more money to pay us? Light a match. Don't burn the joint down.
Yep.
Get our insurance money in. That's gonna be the end of your business.
It's one way, it's our way or the highway. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse.
No, the
I
brother.
saw a movie a few days ago
Uh-huh.
that I never saw before
Oh.
with Eddie Murphy. Called Pluto Nash.
Okay, sound
This
familiar.
guy
I saw a little bit.
Space Mafia.
Right.
And they do this.
For real.
Straight up.
They come in and make an offer you can't refuse, huh? It's the same tactics. They didn't get that from the 1920s, Al Capone. Al Capone got it from his great grandfathers from Macedon, from Rome. You understand? This stuff is nothing new. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 18. Now therefore come thou first and fulfill the king's commandment.
Now read you at the bottom. So he said, honor with silver and gold.
19. Verse 19. Then Mattathias answered and spake with a loud voice, though all the nations that are under the king's dominion obey him and fall away every one from the religion of their fathers and give consent to his commandments.
Right. So this happened in the 1980s in the black community. I think the brother's name, what was it? They always talk about, who was it? Al Sharpton, and who was the other one? What's his name? He did the Rainbow Coalition. Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson was running for president. He's supposed to be a preacher. They got many tapes of him saying that abortion is wrong. You should never get an abortion. It's against God. They came when he wanted to become president, and they started giving him money. Next thing you know, he came out and said that it was okay for a woman to have an abortion when they changed that law in 1973 to make Roe v. Wade. So that's the same thing. They bribe these men. They're willing to go along with it. They know everyone else will follow them. That's what they tried to do with this brother Mattathias. Let's keep going.
Verse 20. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers.
Right. He said, though all the nations, everybody in the world can fall from their culture, all of them can get down with what you're doing. Everybody can believe these things. Me and my sons, we're not going to do that. All right. Let's go to verse 22. We're going to speed it up real quick. We'll try to move through some things.
Verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left.
Right.
Now, then, he had left speaking these words. There came one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Maden, according to the king's commandment, which thing when Maccabees said he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins
Mm-hmm.
trembled, neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Right. All right. What's going on right here, man? This is the climax of this scene right here is with Mattathias. He's not a young man. He is an older man. He's in his older age. But when they come and they telling him to go ahead and do this sacrifice, while they talking to him, some other coon sellout walks up and says, you know what, I'm going to do it. He signs up and go ahead and makes the sacrifice. And it says, matter of fact, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What was going on?
Yeah, explain it.
Mattathias, he killed him?
Yeah, read verse 24.
Come.
Read it strong.
Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal.
He was what?
He was inflamed with zeal.
Uh-huh.
And his reins trembled.
His spirit, his body was angered so much. You understand? Because when you read up further in chapter 2, it explains how we read about the women that were getting killed for circumcising their children. You understand? They killed the babies. They killed the women that were the midwives that were just doing their job to circumcise these babies. He knew this history. He knew what the story is going on. His people are suffering and mourning. And you want me to bow down and forsake my culture? At this point in time, like I've heard stories about brothers from New Orleans, cats in the street. Certain times they'll say things like, man, if this nigga try to rob me for my chain, he's threatened to kill me, I'ma just die. He ain't taking no chain off my body. You be like, damn, like, you got kids, you gotta let this nigga take the chain, you know what I'm saying? And go ahead and live. Give him the wallet, you know what I mean? And sidebar, they had the Dave Chappelle show and he was out there, he was shooting dice and he was losing all his money for his family. And the one dude came to the other dude, professional dice roller, they robbing the dice game. And he was like, man, if you're going to take my money, you're going to have to shoot me for it. He said, okay. Pow! Shot him in the leg. He like, I was talking about the dice. Like, you're going to have to shoot me for the dice to take my money. He was, nah, nigga, F that. We going to shoot you about it. Like, in my mind, certain times when people would say that, I'm like, something is wrong with you to have that much pride to lose your life over a silly chain, over a couple of dollars in your pocket. But the spirit behind what they're saying is not about the money. It's about me as a man, that you disrespecting me, and I don't want that on my name. At this point in time, seeing what these devils have done to these men, women, and children, and you want to take my dignity and respect for me and sacrifice to your God or to eat this swine's flesh, who do you think that we are? We're going to die about this. You understand? It's more than just that. You know what I mean? And that's what he had, man. He was angered, not only just because they did this, but because of all the other things they had done to his people. And that's how we got to be today. You learning about how they destroyed that little girl in that book that you read, where they did a rocking chair on her head till her jaw was broken. We hearing about how I was reading, they said they had a 10-year-old white boy in one of these books. Yesterday I was reading, come and castrate a black man. You understand? Then they killed him. There's so many stories of what they done back then, what they doing right now. You understand? The Edomite just shot into a car with an Iscarite and killed the little baby. There's a maid walking to the door, knocking on the door to clean someone's house. He shot through the door and shot her in the head. And you want me to celebrate with you on Christmas? Like we together? And you want me to eat Thanksgiving commemorating the death of the Native Americans? Who do you think we are? You understand? We cannot have those type of weak men, women, and children in our culture. And these stories give you strength. But you had something, Sluggy. Yep.
I was going to say that that's a major reason that the Apocrypha is not even the so-called Bible.
Right. Right.
Not even there. Look, you think about it.
Right. And give them a hand for that. That's exactly it. And this connection of when they started to call us Greek and we got away from our culture is also part of it, because we could no longer call ourselves Jews. Then you get to the New Testament, they say it's neither Jew nor Greek, and we get confused not knowing what happened with the backstory of this, not knowing the backstory of that this is only a couple hundred years before Christ came around too. So all these things are important to understand really what's going on when Christ was around. All right. But let's keep going.
Neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment.
Right.
Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time.
Right. So he killed the Israelite that did the sacrifice. He killed the men that were working with the king, these Edomites. He read.
And the altar he pulled down. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of God, like as Phineas did at Zambri, the son of Salom.
Right. Phineas was in the time of Moses. He heard that there was a brother in there sleeping with a Moabite woman, laying with her in the tent. And that angered him that he would even do this amongst the children of Israel after we got these laws. And that zeal came upon him. They said he pierced through the man and the woman, killed both of them with a spear. This is the spirit that came upon Mattathias at that time. Keep going.
And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law, and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me.
Let him what?
Let him follow me.
Right. He's going through the city and he's letting everyone know, if you really love the Lord, you are zealous about the law, come and follow me. All right. Keep going.
So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all that ever they had in the city. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
Right. So that's that. We're going to drop down. They went out there and got ready to go to war. It talks about these different men that didn't want to fight on the Sabbath. We can, touch on that at another time. Let's see. What we say the last key point we'll end on in here. Let's see. Go to verse 49.
This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse 49. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now have pride and rebuke God in strength, and the time of destruction, and the wrath of indignation. Verse 50. Now, therefore, my son, be ye zealous of the law, and give your lives for the covenant of our fathers.
Right.
Verse 51, call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
Right. Don't worry about the fact that you're going to die. You will get honor and an everlasting name. We reading about these brothers and these sisters to this day. The people that went along with it, no one remembers them. No one cares about what their life meant nothing. There is a certain time where you can hold too much pride in your life. You understand? And that was a big issue when we were in slavery and captivity here in America. That men were letting this master ravish their wife and then trying to live through the day. That somebody else then convinced them, no, don't do it. Don't go fight, Jeb. Don't go do that. Then they gonna get you. Damn that. It's time to die. I don't love my life that much that I am going to be treated in this manner. And that's what these men, and they knew the history of men like this before. And it starts going down and listing great men. I'm going to paraphrase and skip through, but from Abraham to Joseph to Joshua, it says Jesus, but it's meaning Joshua, you understand? Or Caleb, David, Elijah, all these men, Daniel, you understand? Go down to verse 61.
Verse 61,
Mhm.
and thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
Right. Nobody that trusts in the Lord is going to be overcome. We always win. Even when we lose, we win. You understand? Because these people are going to have to pay for what they've done. They're not going to get away with this. And we seeing it happen right now. Keep reading.
Verse 62, fear not.
Do what?
Fear not.
One more time.
Fear not.
Uh-huh.
Then the words of a sinful man.
Like, that's a cold line right there. Like, how are you going to be scared of a sinful man? You understand? Fear not. You scared of Donald Trump? This man was blowing Bill Clinton's ride. What the hell are you scared of him for? You understand? Our Lord is not like that. Our Lord is a man of war, and he's righteous. You understand?
Right.
You gonna fear him more than you fear the Lord? Like, how do your parents talk to you when you going to school? And TJ at the school taking lunch. You scared of him more than me?
Right.
You keep letting him take your lunch money. I'm gonna whoop your ass when you get home. You understand? You go back up there and don't let him take your money ever again. You understand? You are my son. The Lord is the same with us, man. Don't fear a sinful man. That man, Alexander the Great or Greek, whatever, he had an orgy and got sick. And that's why he died when he was 32. You understand? The Lord took him out the same way. All that, even with that, it's not a coincidence that Alexander died at a young age. Everything happened that the Lord wanted to happen at the right time so that these things could all be set in place. He was just a part of the prophecy that Daniel had, but it was already set in stone. You understand? All right. So read that again.
Fear not then the words of a sinful man.
Uh-huh.
For his glory shall be dung and worms.
Right. He gonna sleep with the fishes. The worms are gonna be fed with Alexander. The worms are gonna be fed with these men that are trying to destroy the Lord's people today. All right. Keep going.
Verse 63. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found.
Right. The land of Egypt is just a desert, and it's really nothing to this day. It's just a place where people go to tour. But ever since the Lord destroyed Egypt, it's never been restored to the glory it was back then. You're going to be lifted up today, but tomorrow your glory shall not be found, right? Keep going.
Because he is returned into his dust, and his thought is come to nothing.
Right. Keep going. Last couple verses.
Wherefore, ye my sons, be valiant.
Be valiant.
so I can be valiant
Mm-hmm.
and show yourselves men in the behalf of the law, for by it shall ye, so I can obtain glory.
Right. Keep going.
And behold, I know that your brother Simeon is a man of counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Give ear unto him always. He shall be a father unto you.
Right. So he's saying he knows his son. This son right here is a good man. He's wise. He gives good counsel and advice and leadership. Listen to him. Read.
And Judah Maccabees, he has been mighty and strong, even from his youth up. Let him be your captain and fight the battle of the people.
Right. This son right here, he's the strong one. He's always been like this as a young kid. He's been beating everybody up. Let him be the one that is the captain of your army and go out and fight the battle of the people. He was called the hammer. You understand? Judah's Maccabees. That's where the name of this book comes from. Right? Keep going.
Take also unto you all those that observe the law, and avenge ye the wrong of your people.
Uh-huh.
Recompense fully the heathen, and take heed to the commandments of the law.
Them old folks, you know what I mean? Them old time. They talk about that old time religion. Somebody, mama, big mama, somebody hit you, hit them back. Maccabees went out on he said, pay them back for what they done to us. They've been hitting us upside the head, hit them upside the head, man. They've been taking our lives, go back and take their lives and take heed of the commandments. Read, so that's that. Read verse 70. We'll give him this too.
Verse 70. And he died in the 146th year, and his sons buried him in the sepulchres of his fathers at Madin, and all Israel made great lamentations for him.
Right. So he went out with this record, with this name, and they honored and remembered this brother, and that spirit jumped on his sons, and they went and did great things. And that's where we get to this feast of dedication that we have in a couple of weeks. So we just want to keep that in our mind and keep that in our spirit as we go through. If people are new or coming into the truth or learning about these things, we want to make sure we building up their spirit and that they know these stories to see that it's no big thing to miss out on a meal. It's no big thing not to go over to someone's house. This is a light thing that we're asking in order to maintain this culture. Who's ready to get up and follow the men of the Lord like they did with Maccabees? You understand? Who's ready to get up and say, we're not going to fear the sinful man. We're going to fear the Lord, right?
Right.
That's what we're building up here in the UPK under command of General Yohana, and we're going to keep this spirit alive. And however these things may play out, we know the prophecies are coming true and that these people cannot win.
Right.
And so it's getting more and more relevant every day. On your side note, if you're into watching the news and things, Bernie Sanders just I love Bernie Sanders. Not like that way. It's like, I got love for him, but I love watching him. You know what I mean? He is just a quirky, intelligent, fast-talking Jewish man that is just I don't know if he really believes in what he believes in, but he is just like a funny, I don't even know how to explain it. But he's just like, it's really real. It's really about to go down. This shit is messed up. The country is like, y'all don't be listening. I'm like, is he really? I don't know if he's for them or against them or he's playing a game. Is he a troll? I don't know what Bernie Sanders is, but he just did a 15-minute video like, yeah, this AI thing is going down. And everybody's going to lose their job. It's going to take over the world. We're all going to die. I'm like, yeah. It's pretty much what we've been trying to tell y'all. It's like he's the last crazy Edomite in the wind trying to tell them that they need to stop. and they just full. Donald Trump is full speed ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like he got that spirit that the Lord put on him to just be a super devil and just crash this thing, running straight off the cliff. Yep. Go ahead.
What you said earlier about Alexander's men
Mhm.
walking off the cliff.
Right.
Exactly.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, that's deep. Yeah. That is heavy. I didn't even make that connection, but that's what they're doing. They are literally going over the cliff for this MAGA, Make America Great, for Donald Trump. They don't care if they shut the government down and their food stamps get cut off. They hate spics. You understand? They don't care if all of them lose their jobs and they sending the soy over to another country. The soy farmers coming out like, we're not selling nothing. This is their guy. They put racism over everything. They put their brotherhood over everything. Last verse, and give me Psalms 83. That's one thing for sure, man. They call it the Aryan brotherhood. They may hate us, but they love their people. And we need to learn how to have that spirit of brotherhood amongst us. Psalms 83.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Right.
Hold not thy peace.
Right.
And be not still, O God.
Mm-hmm.
For lo, thy enemies make a turmoil, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right. They've lifted up the head. They are the ones that hate the Lord. They have given themselves more pride. Keep reading.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
Mm-hmm.
and consulted against thy hidden one.
Right. They call it the United Nations today. They have so many different countries around the world that got a seat at the table at the United Nations. I heard they tried to put the Haitians at, I think it was with the African nations or whatever. They tried to put them on the African Union. The African Union denied the Haitians. They didn't want to have them sit down as their own nation, or own entity. They're like, nah, we're not dealing with y'all, not us. You're not a part of us. You understand? But all these different nations that have a seat, but our people really don't have a voice in these things. America speaks for us. Who else when it comes to these other tribes? You know what I mean? Like, who is speaking up for the Gadites or the Native Americans at the United Nations? They don't have a voice there either. You understand? They come together and take a crafty counsel against the children of Israel. If we build businesses and give passes to Arabs, they can put a gas station in Richmond. They can build a liquor store, a smoke shop right up the street. People have been living in Richmond for 50, 60 years, but the heirs on this one, they own that one. Every smoke shop up and down this street, they get their kingdom of heaven in America by selling you poison, by selling you tobacco, selling you liquor, selling you whatever thing that you want. Them little roses, y'all know about them little roses that they sell? Certain brothers that go in and record that. They used to, especially from the crack era, it's a little rose in a plastic glass thing. And it looks like they're just selling you an innocent rose that you want to buy. But the dope fiends buy it in order to get high with it. So they have it in the front of their counter at their store. And that's what they will come in and buy over and over and over again. And they know what they're selling it for. And they know what it's going to. And at the same time, what do they turn around and do? And they go praise to their God. They thank Allah for you being here to be their slave. You understand? Keep reading.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That the name of Israel.
Say it in the Lashawan, the name of.
That the name in Yasharallah
right.
may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against
this. This is what Alexander was talking about. He's saying, Antiochus, let us be one. Let us come together with one consent, one nation. Let's be one. Like, and damn these other groups that don't want to join in and be one body. Like, the heathen's power comes from them uniting all the time. That's why they call it the United States. Every state is its own nation. You understand? Texas is its own nation. They got its own laws. You can't smoke weed in Texas. You can smoke weed in California. You can have all the guns you want in Texas. You can't have guns in California. They their own nation. But they say, you know what? Let you become United States, because there's more power in us being one, and we can take over the world in our unity and not in our division. They said, let us be one consent. We got to do the same thing. That's what Christ died for. That's what King David fought for. It's for us to be united and be one. You understand? Read.
They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab.
There we go.
And the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher is also joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot.
Right.
Say Lot.
Right on. So that's that. We've seen these things historically. They have come together in brotherhood to destroy us. We got to come together in brotherhood to have the Lord fight against them. You understand?
Right.
All right. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and close out the class. Shalom. Unless anybody got anything else, questions, comments? Good with Tawad. All right. Yahweh Shem Yashah Brother Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shema Thumb Shem Yashah to all the sisters.